Thanks for having me, everyone. So, look, with the introduction of lean manufacturing in mining and operations all around the globe constantly chasing best practices, a lot of digitisation and short-range scheduling is a key focus at the moment for operations all around the globe, as I said. So, I'm sure if you've been in a mine planning meeting or an execution meeting recently, the question that's always asked is, how come variability is running right through my mine plan despite it seeming so strong on paper? Secondary to that, or maybe you're reaching your production numbers, but you're not performing to the level you thought you would based on the plan you put in place. So a lot of miners are now trying to solve this problem by introducing AI and ML and stochastic scheduling into their mine plans. But unfortunately, as an industry, we actually are quite behind in terms of investment. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely some vendors in the room today that are doing a very good job at this. But when it comes to stochastic scheduling, probabilistics, and threading probability into our mine plans, we just aren't leveraging the power of these tools. And today I'll show you exactly why. So think about your landscape. From an enterprise level, we've got a lot of systems, data, tools, and technology at our fingertips. And what we're doing is we're trying to leverage these systems into a 90-day window through to execution, which aren't fit for purpose, right? So then we're, if not transferring that information to spreadsheets and putting that in the hands of operators and supervisors alike, and expecting them to deliver the world. Yes, we manage or we monitor execution with FMS and other tools. We're not capturing the full picture. To create strong AI, modelling, simulation, it's really about categorisation of data, capture of data, and storage and maintenance. But also the cadence in which you capture that. And as you can tell, if we're managing execution by radio calls and conversations, it's just simply inadequate. So when we visit sites, we begin to assess the gaps, the opportunities. Typically, miners fall into one of these first three buckets. More often than not, they've got the foundational levels there. We've got a mine operating system in place, the rhythms, the routines, the targets, but it's manual data capture. There's some production KPIs in place, but not the full perspective of what we're trying to achieve. So we're planning this production cycle, or we're planning our critical path, but we're not overlaying all the enabling activities that truly unlock production's critical path. And there's definitely no central source of truth. So operations are then starting to leverage tools in this space like SiteOps to not only digitise production's critical path, bring online each department's plan and process, consume the maintenance calendar, the equipment schedule, the people's skills and rosters in one integrated system. But then as I said, they're then analysing that data to greater depths, centralising decision-making versus putting the blinkers on in the field and just making a call in the moment. And that's laying then the foundations to start to model, simulate, and truly understand what probability is going to impact our plan of execution today. So if you think about the last time some of you in this room were a part of a shifts lineup or a planning meeting, a review meeting, I'm sure you saw one of these, or if not a combination of these things in your meeting. There was probably some form of table or spreadsheet with a couple of descriptors on it and some deadlines for tasks to be done in the shift. There's probably a whiteboard with a report on it and a couple of targets written down in pen. And this is a real example. I was actually standing next to that dozer near on 12 months ago with a prospective customer with the mine services super. He was on the radio call to the drill and blast superintendent who, for better word, was throwing an adult tantrum. He had 2 drill rigs parked up in the corner. He wanted to mobilise his whole fleet. He was supposed to be on that pad the previous Monday. It was a Wednesday morning. The mine services team were performing rework on that pad because pre-strip were rushed out of that location. Quality of handover was poor. You had a drag line sitting in the bottom of the pit with a cable running through the middle, high-risk activity. And we had production on the other end of the pad still excavating. And they were scheduled to be finished on the Monday. It's a Wednesday morning at this point. So we've got to ask ourselves, on paper again, deterministically our approach, seemingly so strong. We had it figured out. Production wasn't going to be impacted. For whatever reason, there's rework occurring, there's miscommunication, dozers are being stolen, and there's in-house arguments and fighting. Not only this alone, but even in isolation, whether it be top of coal delays, poorly executed pump strategies, bench prep, bench handover, the rework or the ineffectiveness of those plans was accumulative of almost $100 million in lost production opportunities for this site. That's per annum, by the way. So what do we do about it? Well, we took the equipment schedule, their roster, skills and competencies, and their mine plan from 90 days right through to execution week into one integrated planning system. Each department then had a complete visual of their production critical path, could overlay all the enabling activities with the detail required for quality, of course. And then by leveraging the application suite we've got, pushing plans digitally into the fields, right data at the right time in the hands of the people who need it most. We've also taken gamification of mining to the next level. Not only can we now, from an operator or supervisor perspective, execute in the field, but they're able to actually plan, scope, and understand all additional activities that may not have been picked up in the first instance. So this is then now positioning this site, and they're now poised to take that next leap into unlocking digital maturity. And so some of the functionality that they're now getting access to and what we've got off the shelf as an offering is baselining. So you can look at your plan's current state and the variability that occurred and where you landed or ended for the following week. More data-driven analytics. This is truly, the foundations of maturity. So one quick takeaway to give you as I wrap up. If you're looking to increase production or understand why variability exists in your shift's plan, or you're just trying to advance your analytical maturity or your digital maturity, consider these three things. Have I planned all the enabling activities in the detail required to deliver value? Have I considered my resource constraints, but also my people skills constraints? That's always a big challenge. And do I have the digital systems to enable real-time data capture in the field? Unlocking scheduling and execution is also a step closer to unlocking the automated mine and the utopia we're all striving for. Thanks very much.